Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, will you please rise for the presentation of colors by the Mount Juliet High School Junior ROTC Marine Corps.
Ready, come. Ready, cut. Forward, march.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. I would like to welcome each of you to the 166th commencement exercises of Mount Juliet High School. We would like to honor the graduates of the class of 2020 today by celebrating all of their accomplishments. In order to do this, we ask that each of you show the honor and respect that is due to each of these accomplished seniors. Please hold your applause to an appropriate noise level so as to allow each senior's name to be heard and recognized by all as each senior walks across the stage and is presented with their diploma. The faculty and staff of Mount Juliet High School are proud to present to you the graduating class of 2020. Mr. Cox, please. This time I would like to introduce our distinguished guest on the main stage, Dr. Donna Wright, Director of Schools for Wilson County Schools, Mr. Larry Tomlinson, Chairman of the Wilson County Board of Education representing Zone 5, Mr. Wayne McNeese, Wilson County Board of Education Zone 1, Mr. Bill Robinson, Wilson County Board of Education Zone 2, Mr. Mike Waltney, Wilson County Board of Education Zone 3, Ms. Linda Armistead, Wilson County Board of Education Zone 4, and Mr. Chad Carl, Wilson County Board of Education Zone 7. I would like this time to recognize the faculty and staff of Mount Juliet High School seated behind me on the main stage as well as to my left. This group of educators is one of the finest in the nation, and I'm honored and humbled to be allowed the privilege to lead them over the past 2 years. Each of your students are better today because of this group. Please give them a round of applause in support of their tireless efforts to encourage, support, and nurture your children, grandchildren, and loved ones. I would also like to recognize the incredible administrative team at Mount Juliet High School, Mr. Mike Lytle, Ms. Beverly Sharp, Ms. Lori Scott, Mr. Mike Duncan, Mr. Josh Johnston, and Mr. Jake Hammond. We would also like to recognize our counseling team, Ms. Christy Walker, Ms. Lisa Whitmire, Ms. Denise Bergen, Ms. Arlene Barlow, Ms. Holly Heller, and Ms. Fallon Sullivan. Please give them all a round of applause. Today we also celebrate the years of service and dedication of 4 of our faculty members that will be retiring. Please join me in applause for the following: Ms. Dottie Springer, Ms. Janet Hayes, Ms. Kimberly Griggs, Ms. Jan Dickens. We would also like to recognize our Mount Juliet High School Teacher of the Year. This honor is bestowed upon one individual each year by nomination and vote of their peers, and it is the highest honor that can be bestowed on a faculty member at Mount Juliet High School. This year's MJHS Teacher of the Year is Mr. James Peach. We would now like to recognize one of our honorary graduates. We'll see if I can make it through it this time. We do have a member of us that is not here with us today. Mr. J. Sean Taylor was one of our graduates that left us way too early. Though he is not here in physical body, you feel his presence with us here today in spirit. We do have his place with our graduates, and we have his cap and gown draped, and he will be receiving an honorary diploma. We're honored to have his family with us here today for this honorary ceremony. Please give a loving round of applause to the family of J. Sean Taylor. We're honored to have a number of our students that are joining our armed forces to protect us each daily here in America. Would all of our students that will be enlisting into the military service of any branch in the class of 2020 and their families please stand at this time. We also recognize, remain standing. We also recognize that we do have a group of our students that have already gone to basic training and are not able to be with us today. And we do want to know that we support them and that we love them. If you are a member of the audience and you are currently enlisted or you're a veteran of any enlisted students, would you please rise to join these graduates? Thank you. Please be seated. Class of 2020 also has another group that we would like to recognize and honor at this time. In this unprecedented time of our pandemic that we have all dealt with over the last months, we would like to recognize anybody that is in our audience and anybody that is a member of any healthcare profession. If you would stand so that we can honor you for being on the front lines of the battle and for standing in the gap for all of us. Thank you. Normally, this is the time in a graduation where the principal gives you a long speech, and we talk to you about what we want you to become, what you are, what you will be. But I think in light of all of the time, or the lack thereof, that you guys have had with one another in this weird spring, I'm going to yield my time to somebody else that is going to recognize some of our groups and individuals that we probably didn't get to recognize quite as much as we should have. So at this time, I'm going to step back and I'm going to give the microphone to Ms. Lauren Allen, our Student Council President.
Class of 2020. We're graduating after 4 years of life-changing challenges and events that our kids will one day learn about in history class. We stand at the cusp of a sea change in technology and culture, and we're going to be the leaders, workers, parents, and laborers that see this change through. Not one of us asked for this responsibility, yet here we are. This year most definitely ended unexpectedly, and so I'd like to mention many of the clubs and sports that did not get their season or conference because of COVID-19. Much like this year's yearbook, I can't mention them all, but I'm going to try my best with the few minutes that I have. First, the boys soccer team. For many of you, you will still be playing in college, but for some, this was going to be your last time on a field playing with your team, and I'm sorry you never got recognized for that. Next, the tennis team. It's only because I have friends on the tennis team that I have a semblance of understanding of what you all have missed out on. Many of my senior friends were so excited for the season to finally play as the first or second seed, and I can only imagine that that translates to other sports and clubs as well. Next, to the choir, orchestra, and band. I know we all see how hard these groups work. I don't think you could pay me to be out there every weekend and afternoon with the band practicing as hard as they do, but I surely respect their hard work and wish they'd been able to have one final performance. To the orchestra especially, many of you know that our school will be losing this program next year. Many seniors, alumni, and staff here work tirelessly to write letters and make phone calls to save the program, but ultimately the budget for next year cannot sustain it. Finally, to HOSA, an essential club at our school. This year they worked with Vanderbilt University to raise awareness about the dangers of texting and driving. In addition, the CTE program has always served students and boosted their career readiness. As a testament to this, the majority of the students passing pass the CNA licensing exam this year, allowing them to start a job right out of high school. As I said, I know I've only scratched the surface on the amazing clubs and sports you all have participated in over your 4 years here. My dream is that as you all go on to your next adventure, whether that be college or a job or parenthood, you take what you've learned over the past 4 years and use it to create supportive and inclusive environments for everyone around you. As we all know, this is more important than ever right now. There are many teachers at the school that have always strived to do this for their students, and while I can't name them all, I would like to highlight a few. First, to Mr. Martin, who unfortunately couldn't be here today, but has helped all of his students understand the extremely complicated economic system we live in and feel more prepared to begin adulthood after high school. Next, to Mrs. Gross, who presented her literature classes this year with an extremely diverse reading list and helped us understand the history of colonization in Africa. Then to Mr. Valerie, the teacher who taught our school's first African-American history class. Black history is American history, and I wish we were all afforded the opportunity to learn about it like students in that class are. Finally, to Mrs. Rainey, who after 2 great years with us at MJHS is moving on to bigger and better things in Memphis, and we cannot wait to see what impact she makes on education. Now, before I say congratulations to you all, I would like to say congratulations to the next classes at MJHS, because they will all get Mrs. Beverly Sharp, and I know we're all jealous of them. For these teachers and more, we're all so thankful. While our generation is the future, we couldn't be anything without the wonderful teachers and administrators at the school. So finally, class of 2020, we did it. I know many of your family members couldn't be here today, so allow me to be the first to tell you, I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see what you all do. Congratulations, class of 2020.
Thank you, Lauren. At this time, I would like to welcome Mr. Joseph Helmy, the Mount Juliet High School Salutatorian for the class of 2020, to the podium for his welcome speech.
All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the class of 2020 graduation. I'd like to thank you all for coming out to our graduation, especially during these difficult times. I'd also like to congratulate my peers. Round of applause for all of these guys. It's really important for me to start off by thanking God, because without His help and guidance throughout these 4 years, I wouldn't be here right now. I truly credit any success I've ever had to Him. I'd also like to thank my parents for their never-ending love, support, and sacrifice, literally sacrificing their entire lives and moving to a different country to give my siblings and I a shot at a better future. I'd also like to thank my siblings for always motivating me and giving me a reason to work hard, as I always wanted to be the best role model and older brother to them. I love you guys and I'm nothing without you guys. There's an abundance of people I'd like to thank, but Mr. Rainey only gave me 2 minutes. So I'd quickly like to thank all of my great teachers, the hardworking faculty and administration, my guidance counselor, Mrs. Bergen, my friends, role models and mentors, Coach Pruitt, and everyone else that worked so hard to make our school and district what they are. When thinking about where to go with this speech, a million things came to my mind. I could have talked about how many times I almost got hit in the parking lot because no one wanted to let me out. Shout out to the girl in the white Ford. Or I could have talked about how many times Ms. Hayes yelled at me and told me to stop staring at the ceiling in AP Chemistry and that there's nothing in the lights. Or I could have given all the reasons for why LeBron is the greatest of all time and not Jordan. But none of those would have fit within the notorious 2-minute time frame. Also, please someone get this on ESPN so LeBron can see it. I love you, LeBron. All right, but seriously now. It's obviously been really hard not having or experiencing all of the traditional senior events, but I firmly believe that it all happened for a reason. It taught us so much. It taught us how much we take everything around us for granted. Every day we came to school and complained about being here, and none of us could wait for it to be made so that we could be done with high school. But when we later found out that Monday, March 2nd, was our last day of school, I think it's safe to say that no one was happy. We learned the value of the people around us, from those we didn't talk to that often, to those we gave a nonchalant hand in the hallway, to those we had no idea impacted our lives at all. We learned how much our teachers meant to us, when we started wishing we could have just one more class with them. We learned to be thankful for the small things, like driving around with our friends, going out to eat, or going to watch a movie. Before the pandemic, we learned how to come together as a community when those impacted by the tornadoes needed us the most. We also witnessed the tragic death of Kobe and Gigi Bryant, along with the 7 other people on that helicopter, which also united the whole world. We recently saw division within our country that was quickly remedied as we saw members of our police departments march hand in hand with our African American brothers and sisters. Throughout it, we were and are united in prayer for the peace of the world, and especially our country. What I'm trying to say is that, although this year split us apart physically, it brought us all together in a way that almost nobody, and especially no senior class, has ever seen. So when you think of your senior year, 20 or 30 years down the line, don't think about what we didn't experience, but rather on the unique senior year that we did experience. I'd like to end by leaving you guys off with a verse from the Epistle of St. James, which says, "Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness." Use that steadfastness, not to follow your dreams, but my Instagram, which only has 470 followers. No, but in all seriousness, follow your dreams and remember that 1,000 miles begins with one step. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. The Mount Juliet High School class of 2020 is an impressive group of young men and women that have exceeded expectations, goals, and dreams. This is the 12th graduating class from the current building located now here at Golden Bear Gateway. With their hard work and perseverance, they have the honor of helping our school to be recognized as a state reward school for both academics and growth. I would like to recognize a couple of groups of students, and if you would rise if this applies to you and stay standing until the end for applause. If you are one of our Tennessee scholars, please stand. If you are one of our Hope Scholarship recipients, please stand. If you are one of our AP scholars, please stand. And if you are one of our honor graduates, please stand. Let's give these ladies and gentlemen a round of applause. Please be seated. We would also like to take a moment publicly to recognize our National Merit finalist this year, who is present in our earlier service today, Mr. Kyle Hacker. We're very proud of him and all he's accomplished. This group of young scholars are prepared, dedicated, and ready to accept the challenges that lie ahead. They are the epitome of our school motto, which is Bear Pride. Class of 2020, at this time, would you please stand and prepare to repeat after me. We'll now recite our MJHS Code of Graduation. Repeat after me, please. I, state your name, will remember my decisions of yesterday so that I will be accountable for my actions today, which will help me meet my responsibilities of tomorrow. Please remain standing now and prepare for the presentation of diplomas. And I would invite Dr. Wright to the podium.
Thank you, Ms. Rainey. By the authority vested in me by the State Board of Education and the Wilson County School Board, I determined each of the seniors whose names shall be publicly announced has met at least the minimum requirements for graduation from Mount Juliet High School and eligible to receive a diploma of graduation. In the eyes of the principals and teachers of this school, we have determined that the following students have attained an approved attendance, conduct, and subject matter record which covers a 12-year program as established by the records on file in the offices of Mount Juliet High School. Seniors, please prepare to come forward and receive your diploma.
At this time, it is my honor to present to you a group of scholars that are willing, compassionate, hardworking, and diligent leaders of tomorrow. They are proud to be named as a 2019 Reward School and proud of the tradition of excellence that they have instilled in the classes that are now behind them. They are noble, they are prepared, and they are ready to take on the next step in this great story that each of them is writing. I present to you with great pride and heartfelt gratitude the Mount Juliet High School class of 2020. If the front row would now remain standing and everyone else have a seat, we will prepare for the presentation of diplomas. Casey Martin Board Jr., Caleb Allen Neal, Riley Keane Neville, Chloe Sophia Ciara Newton Probus, Kaylee Hope Wynn, Hannah Yvonne Niemeyer, Serica Michelle Norris, Ray Lewis O'Dapper, Kalela Brianna Oldham, Elijah David Oliver, Riley Young Osborne, Alex Michael Overstreet, Talia Renee Owens, Devin Douglas Palmer, Emma Jane Palmer, Nicholas Owen Parker, Mary Margaret Harlier, Gracie Elizabeth Parman, Trenton August Patterson, Gianni Lee Perez, Isabella Ann Perry, Dawson Elliott Persinger, Zachary Ryan Pertusit, Caitlin Rose Philbin, Andrew Chase Phillips, Megan Nicole Phillips, Andrew Clay Pierce, Hayden Cushenberry Pierce, Jonathan Brooks Polarski, Benedetto Salvatore Perone, Carolyn Carter Pleasant, Madeline Elizabeth Pulley, Gregory Paul Pontius, Brady Alexander Pope, Cora Ashley Power, Jesse Lee Pruitt, Wilson Boyd Pruitt, Richard Michael Pradilla, Noah Rucker Pugh, Noah Christopher Pike, Carson Q, Vivian Vijay Rajan, Jacob Edward Rampy, Kylie Nicole Randall, Maya Pavlik, Natalie Ariana Artinos, Brandon Allen Reed, Salvatore Daniel Reed, Jenica Nicole Reed, Madison Charisse Reed, Camille Grace Regard, Bryson Delaney Riley, Juan Adele Resendez, Ashley Dawn Rhodes, Christian Glenn Rhodes, Dwayne Lee Rhodes, Kayla Tiana Ricketts, Dylan Wayne Riggins, Alyssa Megan Riley, McLean Elizabeth Riley, Lucas Miles Roberts, Michael Anton Rodriguez, Ruben Jamal Rodriguez, Barbara Brianna Ramos, Katie Grace Russell, Christian Michael Sandum, Daniel Antonio Hannah Marie Schrader, John Robert Schultz, Savannah Noel Seckman, Allison K. Simler, Juan Julian Serrano, Gracie Liana Shattuck, Christina Jordan Shandor, Matthew Tyler Sharp, Lindsay Nicole Shepard, Andrew Robert Shetland. Keely Mariah Sill, Hope Shama Sloan, Charles Dalton Slusser, Hayden A. Smith, Molly Roberta Smith, Pierce Latimer Smith, Devin Holland Spate, Zachary Ryan Sporleader, Addison Marie Stafford, Lucas Todd Stanley, Michael Tyler Steele, Emily Ann Stein, Tyler Nathan Stewart, Sanaya Imari Stokes, Hannah Brooke Story, Alexia Marie Stottenberg, Lillian Grace Stubblefield, Grant Alexander Stoop, John Mason Summer, Anthony Joseph Swoboda, Grant Reed Tarver, Jayshawn Taylor, Nisha Elizabeth Tinsley, Sean Russell Turcune, Hannah Christine Thomas, John Tyler Thomas, Clinton Tyrone Thompson, Hannah Noel Thompson, Isaac Charles Thompson, Jason Everett Thompson, Karina Ann Thompson, Tayshawn Jerome Thompson, Kyla Alexis Tillman, Cologio Gianni Torres, Gabriel Wayne Tracy, Elena Faith Trahan, Chloe Nicolo Trammell, Kimmy Tran, Ariane Lisa Triviani, sorry. Caitlin Elise Truelove, Timothy Truong, Allie Michaela Tyler, Munisakan Umarova, Carson Grace Van Hoven, Hannah Marie Vickers, Baden Clark Van Shipman, Jessica Marie Boyles, Keely Reagan Walker, Braxton Grant Waller, Michelin Ora Waller, Weston Tyler Wally, Brielle Marie Walmsley, Philip Hunter Warren, Bobby Wayne Wayne Watkins, Jonathan Dakota Watson, Adrian Jane Weiss, Tanner Christian Welch, Matthew Gage Wells, Maggie Danielle White, Alyssa Yvonne Wilkerson, Alyssa Regina Williamson, Eliza Renee Wilson, Courtney Ray Wilson, Hannah Stephanie Wilson, Noah Luther Winchester, Thaddeus Jaden Winsett, Lydia Lee Winters, Noah McKinley Brin, Jason Lloyd Wright, Payne Williams Wright, Braden Matthew Worth, Stephen Ahab Yasa, Chloe Marie Young, Maram Nabel Yusuf, and Carolos Mina Zanatti. Give our graduates 1 second so that they can complete their walk. At this time, I would like to welcome our valedictorian, Mr. Cade Hampton, to the stand to give his closing speech.
All right, let's see if I can do this without getting choked up this time. Well, look at us. Who would have thought? We made it. Our last day of school feels like ages ago. I can't see my phone. It's hard to believe our high school careers ended with a devastating tornado and a worldwide pandemic, but man, what a great story that'll make for our future kids, am I right? I want to start by thanking everyone who got me to this point in this position where I can speak to you all today. I want to thank my dad for all the advice and guidance he's given me as I've grown up and passing on his fandom of Alabama football and the Miami Dolphins to me. Roll Tide, fins up, love you, Dad. I guess I'll thank my sister Avery for always being a friend to me, despite also being the most annoying person I've ever met. And I want to add a thank you for fixing my tassel on the way over here because I broke it, and I appreciate that. She won't admit it, but I bet she's going to miss me and all my jokes. And, she's going to have to be the funny sibling in the household now. I want to thank my two amazing grandmothers for always just being the most loving and caring people I've ever met. I love you guys. To all my other family as well, all my aunts, uncles, cousins that aren't actually my cousins. I love all of you guys. And yeah, thank you for all the support over the years. And then all my friends I have out here, a lot of them were in the first ceremony. A lot of you guys are here in the second ceremony. I've made a lot of great friends over the years, especially Pierce Smith over there, best friend since 8th grade. Love you, man. And then, of course, I want to save the best for last. I want to thank my wonderful mom. Here we go. For always pushing me to challenge myself and doing whatever she could to make my life better. She's the reason I'm up here giving this speech right now. It was nothing that I did. It's all her. In fact, if she hadn't kept pushing me to write this speech, I'd probably just be freestyling up here right now. So thank you, Mom. You have no idea how much I love you and appreciate everything you've done for me. And I also want to thank all of the amazing teachers I've had over the years, from kindergarten to senior year. I've had some really great ones, too many to mention by name, but I'm extremely grateful for all of the teachers I've encountered. And I can tell that every single one of them is extremely passionate about what they do because, let's face it, they're not in it for the money. So to be honest with you, I struggled in writing this speech. I knew I wanted to thank my family and friends and everyone else that impacted me. But after that, I really had no idea what I wanted to say. I could have tooted my horn the whole time and talked about how great and amazing I am. But if you want to see someone do that, you can follow Real Donald Trump on Twitter. I also could have been really sappy and motivational, maybe even brought a tear to your eye. But this isn't a TED Talk or a pregame locker room speech. This is a graduation. It's a happy day. We finally made it. Sure, our senior year ended with a devastating tornado and a deadly pandemic and these other unprecedented circumstances, but we still made it. Our class and our community persevered through all of this madness to get us here, and I could not be more grateful for that. Now, I would feel very remiss if I didn't use this opportunity to discuss the events currently gripping our country. To be honest, it's appalling to me how murders like those of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor keep happening, and absolutely nothing changes. My heart breaks for their families, along with the families of Rayshard Brooks, Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, Sandra Bland, Philando Castile, Eric Garner, Freddie Gray, John Crawford III, Alton Sterling, and countless others who lost their lives to senseless violence. To put it more simply, Black lives matter, and we all need to ensure that we take steps to combat the systemic racism that has plagued our country for far too long. As a matter of fact, we can be that change. We are the next generation of leaders, law enforcement, teachers, and politicians. We can and we will lead the change that this country needs so badly. Now, despite these disturbing issues, among many others plaguing our country, we managed to have some good times at Mount Juliet High School. We got to see a complete solar eclipse our sophomore year and celebrate the life of a gorilla that got shot in Cincinnati. That was kind of weird. And my Alabama Crimson Tide won a national championship, or two, but really who's counting? Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
All the pep rallies, football games, proms, all the time we spent together outside of school, those are the times that we're never going to forget, despite all the craziness of this final year. So I think I'm well over my 2-minute mark that I was given now, so I want to leave everyone with this quote. People always tell you, be humble, be humble. When was the last time someone told you to be amazing, be great, be awesome, be awesome? I hope these words from the brilliant mind of Mr. Kanye West stay with you as you all leave today. This is your day. You did this. You graduated. Be great. Be awesome. Bear pride.
We're extremely proud of everything that each of you has accomplished. Class of 2020, would you please stand at this time? One of the traditional ceremonies in a graduation ceremony is your tassel is currently on the right side of your cap. That signifies someone that has not completed their goal. At this time, you have completed your goal of graduation from high school. Please move your tassels from the right to the left, which now signifies the accomplishment of your goal. As we sit in the blazing sun at 2 o'clock in the late June, we have 2 things left to do before we charge you guys to go out and be great, just like Kate said. I'd like to invite Miss Beverly Sharp to come sing our alma mater. Seniors, please join me as we sing our alma mater. On Mount Juliet's southern border, reared against the sky, proudly stands our alma mater as the years go by. Forward ever be our watchword, conquer and prevail. Hail to thee, our alma mater, Mount Juliet, all hail. Now, with the graduates of the class of 2020, join me one last time, and my last time, to say the 5 words. Everybody ready? And you're a smaller group and you're outside, so you have to be loud. Ready? All right, let's show them how we do it. Hands up. Ready? Bear, pride, Mount Juliet High. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, and guests, at this time I now present to you the graduating class of 2020. You may throw your hats. You are dismissed. Thank you.